this final segment, we will talk about change of direction, and then we'll come back to the absence de fer attack. So this first exercise of change direction, you simply retreat and then change direction to surprise your opponent. To do this properly, you need to retreat so your muscles are really ready to go. Make a full retreat and then make a beat of some kind before you lunge against your imaginary opponent here. If you simply do this and your opponent continues, she will have the right of way and you won't get it. You have to take back the right of way with a beat or a parry. So here's your target. You do a retreat, beat, and lunge. That's assuming they're sort of bearing down upon you. On guard, retreat, beat, lunge. Retreat, beat, lunge. Once more, retreat, beat, lunge, or beat attack if you like. So face your target. We'll do 8 of those. Ready? Retreat, beat, lunge. 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 2 more. Retreat, beat, lunge. Retreat, beat, lunge. The other thing you can do to deceive your opponent is a half retreat. This has to be done and timed very carefully. Looks like this. You do a half retreat to send the message that he picks up or she picks up that you're moving back, but you're really not. You're actually stepping this foot back to launch the other direction. So it's kind of like a full retreat and a change of reversal, but this front foot does not move, and this foot only moves a little bit. Back. So it's step back, and then a beat lunge in the other direction. Step back, beat lunge. This sometimes works if you make a zone defense, or I should say offense. A zone beat, maybe a counter 6 or a counter cherish or counter 3. But you have to gauge the circumstance, obviously. So false retreat 8 times. Half retreat, beat lunge. On guard. 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 2 more. Half retreat, beat lunge. Once more. Half retreat, beat lunge. And relax. There are lots of ways to change direction. One of them is this. You step back, you advance, but then you cross your feet and either flesh or try to hit as you cross your feet. I believe in high school fencing you're allowed to cross your feet once, but that rule keeps changing, so you have to check with your coaches. So if you look at my legs, it's retreat, retreat, step forward and cross your leg and hit. If you're in a tight space like me, there's not a lot of room to do this. So I'm going to full retreat, step forward, and cross my leg. Face your opponent, or face your target rather. Go. Full retreat, step forward, cross your leg. It's like a flesh. 5 more. Full retreat, step forward, cross your leg. 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 And 1 more. Full retreat, step forward, cross your leg. Those are ways you can surprise your opponent. And again, if you're reversing direction, you often want to have the blade if you can. I fence a guy at another club, catches me on this a lot. He's very good at getting out of the way and then comes forward and he gets in sort of close. And he's one of those people that's really good at infighting. So he surprises me at times. If you want to attack absence de fer, or absence of the blade, you can put your blade virtually anywhere. You can leave it here, you can put it out here, you can leave it up here, or here. The trouble, it's high risk, high reward. This is a difficult attack to stop if you are good at landing your attack. Your opponent will have a hard time finding it. It's called also a coup lancé, a thrown strike. You're throwing it like a fishing rod. So, let's try some of those just for variety. So we'll start in octave, but really kind of extreme, kind of out here. You'll do an advance and you'll come up to your target and hit wherever you like. You can hit low inside. You can come up here and do what's essentially a disengage and hit high outside. But you're advancing. You're not giving the blade too much until the very lunge. Just a little bit. Nowadays, they consider that enough to establish right away. I think I use the phrase establishing forward momentum initiative. So we'll start in octave, or 8, a little further out. An advanced lunge and really come in fast at the end. Advanced lunge, recover and retreat. If you want to watch me do this a couple times, then do it on your own. Advanced lunge, recover, retreat. Advanced lunge. Now face your target, we'll do 6 of those. In octave or 8, low outside, extreme outside. Go, advanced lunge, recover and retreat. Go, advanced lunge, recover and retreat. Go, advanced lunge, recover and retreat. I'm going to stop there, look at me again. Notice the timing. Advance, I'm still not very far in his territory or her territory. It all comes with a lunge in this case. So it's different from a feint where you give 3/4 of an extension. We'll do 4 more. Face your target. Go. Advanced lunge. Recover and retreat. 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 Do 1 more. Advanced lunge. Recover and retreat. We'll try the same thing from what's called the offline position. Again, this takes a long time to master. You have to sort of whip your blade down and tighten it at the same time. If you care to know, for the past 30 years, there have been changes in the kinds of spring they use in the tip, which meant that for a while, if you just flicked it anywhere with a very whippy blade, you could get a point, change the nature of the game. They've now gone back to making it a little bit harder to score by simply whipping. This blade is not particularly flexible, but some are. So you have to not only whip it down, but you've got to close it and finish with a strong gripping of your fingers, or squeezing of your fingers, I should say. All right, so for something different, we'll try this. You're in a high 4 line. You're going to advance and bring it down and hit. Even there, I messed up and made a valley and not a rainbow. Advance and hit. Ready? Face your target. 6 of these. Go. Advance and hit. Back. Recover. Go. Advance and hit. Back and recover. Go. Advance and hit. Back and recover. Go. Advance and hit. Back and recover. 2 more. Advance and hit. You're throwing your point in. Go. Advance and hit. And recover. As I said last week, if you have someone who likes to attack like this, it makes it difficult for you to parry and find the blade. This is the basis of many fencers' games these days, at least at this level. And so if you're not used to it, it can be very tricky. Number 1 defense against it is offense. That is, if you find yourself getting hit by this kind of attack, you have to start attacking, and don't give her a chance to attack you. Even if it means a series of simultaneous attacks. You don't want to yield ground if you find yourself getting hit. And of course, in a 5-touch bout, you have to make that decision very quickly. If you're at a school match or at a tournament where you can observe a fencer and you see someone using this kind of offline attack effectively, know that when you go into the bout against this fencer, and right off the bat, do not let him or her attack. You go. Now, that won't work every time, so of course there are defenses. The 2 we talked about is if you are keeping the distance, one position you can put is your hand in 7 or 17. Covers up some of the target here. And it's kind of an awkward place. They have to land somewhere. While you're doing this, you want to be working with your feet as if they're on hot coals, making that bubble between you and your opponent flex all the time so that you don't know, she doesn't know where you're going to go. So if you have someone coming at you, railroading you with one of these absence de faire attacks, you can do this. And you got to be able to catch or perceive the parry if it's high or if it's low from this position. And that can be tough, but that's just a matter of practice and experience. The other thing I found about that is there's often more room than you think there is behind you. So they're coming at you, they get in a little close and you think, oh my God, it's too late. You may have a few feet to go where you can retreat and parry. So don't short yourself the space. When we get back to the sol, we can practice the sense of distance maybe near the end of the strip. So this septime defense is another one. The other is the contretemps, the counter time. That is, she comes at you with a bent arm, you throw out what looks like a counterattack, and she is trained to continue, so she hits. Let me go to the foil to show you that. She's coming, there's no blade for me to work with. She's trained that if she has a bent arm and I start to do an attack in her preparation, and she continues, nowadays, she's getting the right of way. Didn't used to be that way. If she came with a bent arm and I stuck out my arm to hit her, I had the right of way attacking the preparation, but no longer. Movement forward has become the king here. So she comes with a bent arm, I can't find it. I stick out my arm and counterattack, she continues, it's her touch. But the contretemps, the counter time, is basically a second intention. She comes at me with a bent arm, I throw out a fake counterattack, she continues, but my real intention is to parry her. And I had to time this really superbly well. In some ways, it's the opposite. It's not a parry or riposte. It's more like a riposte than a parry, then followed by a riposte. So it's counterintuitive in some ways. So she comes at me with a bent arm. I throw out my counter time. She continues. My real intention is to catch her in time and parry. Bent arm, I throw my counter time. She continues. I can make a circular. This is a good place for a counter 3 or counter tierce, very strong slap, prone position parry. So it's tough, and you have to practice that. And of course, at super high levels, you'll sometimes see people throw out a counterattack followed by a parry just to get one light on the machine. They don't care about right of way. If they can get so fast, they can get there and block the parry, even though it's the reverse of the normal parry or post. If you get one light, well, there you are. Okay, so we'll practice that together. First, we do the absence de faire attacks of our own, so you can use those or any other kind of attack against someone like this. Second, the septime position. You're working back and forth. Maybe you come in and attack if you get the right of way, like maybe in the low line. At any rate, it's weird just to come here or here. Maybe you make a counter 4, maybe you make a counter 6 or counter tierce. This sort of position. So assume that position and I will come at you, as it were, with my blade not available to you. Sooner or later, I have to finish my attack and you've got to be able to read it. And finally, you're going to throw out a contretemps, a counter time. I'm moving with my blade here. I come at you with my big advance. You throw out your blade like you're going to counterattack, and I will continue. That's what I've been trained to do. But your real intention is to parry me and make a riposte. Let me try that with this. We're fencing. You have no blade to work with. I start like this. Here comes my coup lancé, my thrown attack. You throw out your fake counterattack. At the last minute, you parry and riposte. Try that. So I'm coming at you. I've got my arm all over the place. Throw out your counterattack. Here's my attack, and you parry and riposte. Do that twice more. Coming at you, no blade. Here comes my attack. You throw out your counterattack. At the last second, you parry and riposte. And the last one. Here's my blade, nowhere to be found. Here's my attack. You throw out a counterattack. I come and you parry and riposte because that was your intention all along. Your second intention. First was fake, second is real. So that's something you can practice. It's hard without an opponent, of course, but you can do something. Let's just review the parry positions. 6 position, 4, septime or 7, octave or 8, tierce or 3, cant or 5, that's Q-U-I-N-T-E, like quintuplet, prime, where you point your elbow, like a bird kind of, and seconde or 2, which is a very natural one, slapping the mosquito off your thigh. In a different order, we have the quadrant. We have 6 and 3, or tierce. 6 and 3. It's just a matter of whether the hand is turned or not. 4 and 5. Carte is the old term. Cant. Here, my thumb is my hand supine. My thumb here. Cant is like this. Septime and prime. Septime is here. Again, my hand is more or less supine, like you're scooping ice cream. And prime is you point your elbow and your point. And finally, octave is here, and seconde is turn. This is more natural. Octave, or 8, and cant, or 5, are used when someone takes your blade and brings it around towards you. This isn't really a forced parry, it's a guiding parry. It's called a ceding parry. C-E-D-I-N-G. To cede means to give way, like the South seceded from the Union in the Civil War. So if someone takes your blade this way, I can simply find myself in this position. Their blade is here. I haven't done anything except guide it past me, and I hit. I've used that a million times in my career. Octave is the same thing. Someone takes it out this way, you simply give way, and often you can riposte low line. So 6, tierce, or 3, 4, cant, or 5, 7, septime, prime, seconde, or 2, and octave. Okay, I hope you will stay fit and stay safe, and I will see you next week. Thank you.